In this video, we're going to take a look at the Lochby field journal and pocket notebook covers as something you can use for your EDC RPGs. So let's get into this.
Welcome to Solitary RPG.
Journaling is a daily practice of mine. I am always writing in a notebook and keeping track of my life and my thoughts and just things going on. I do a lot of reflecting and writing in my journals. And over the years, I have looked at and purchased many different journal covers and things to keep my journals in. And most of them work out just fine. Some of them are just fancy leather covers and they don't really offer me anything. But in my journeys, I've stumbled across a company called Lochby. And what I want to talk about in this video is what's known as an EDC. An EDC simply means everyday carry, something that you carry with you every day for your role-playing games. I'm not suggesting you carry around role-playing games with you every day. But what I want to share in this video is how you can use this Lochby field journal to keep your RPG material in it, so that way when you feel the urge to play a role-playing game, you just have to pick up your Lochby journal, go sit down and start playing your game. Let me show you what this system looks like and talk a little bit about how you can use it as your RPG EDC. In my journey of journaling, I fell into the world of traveler's notebooks. And what traveler's notebooks are these long, narrow notebooks that people have in these leather covers. This is not a traveler's notebook leather cover. I couldn't justify the cost, so I made my own, put some rivets in it because I wanted to try to better understand the system that Traveler's Notebooks offers. And there is a culture out there for Traveler's Notebooks. I've went down that rabbit hole, watched lots of videos about it to better understand their system. And that's what it is. Traveler's Notebooks is a system, kind of like Franklin Covey back in the 90s and early 2000s had a system for keeping track of like journaling and day keeping or planning and all that kind of stuff. It's a time management system and that's what they offer. But I wanted to better understand the system and the paper. It didn't work for me. I don't like the paper size. That's all it is. I think the systems that they offer work great for a lot of people, just not for me. I like my paper to be more A5 size. But the one thing that I was very intrigued with is how they put their notebooks in their journal covers by using just a simple elastic band. And mine is homemade, so my bands aren't as good quality as they had to offer. But there's a way of putting in multiple notebooks into their covers, and I just think it's a really neat process. I just didn't like the size. And that's when I stumbled across Lochby. And Lochby, not leather. This is a waxed canvas cover. And it has this metal clip that holds it down. And you pull it off and you open it up. And you're introduced to, you got a couple ribbons here, 4 elastic bands for holding material. Plus you have these pockets inside for holding more material and these little pockets in here for holding more material and this mesh pocket. And also in the back you have another big pocket you can put stuff on the outside. When I first saw one of these, I immediately went, that would be perfect for my role-playing games because this is A5 size. And a lot of the zines that we have in our collections nowadays are A5 size. I was like, this would be perfect because I could just slip some of my zines in there along with like notebook paper. And I have places to put stuff. I have a pouch to hold dice. And I was like, this would be the perfect everyday carry for a role-playing game. Something Yeah, I'm not going to take it with me every place I go, but I could if I wanted to. But I can just keep it on my desk. And when I have the urge to play a role playing game, I can just pick this up. I have everything I need. I do not need to procrastinate and ponder which system I want to play. I just pick up what I have. I go sit down, I open it up, and I start playing my role playing game. Just making it more accessible to me in my life. I can just go down and play a game. So let me tour you through the cover, and then we're going to set this up for a role playing game. So first thing you have is this latch. This is some sort of special aluminum latch, but it's got this locking system that just clips on to a loop on the front cover, and then you just pull on the strap and it tightens up or cinches up, and it keeps the cover tight. And when you go to take it off, you just kind of push it in, it loosens up, you take it right off. Now, this big metal flap flaps around, and that could be annoying to some people. Lochby has you covered. Inside here, they have a very tight loop, and you can put the clip in there, and that keeps that from flopping around, so it's not getting in your way. It holds it. You can cinch it up, so that way it doesn't move around, and then when you're ready to pull it out, you just pull it out, and you're good to go. You can close up your journal. So it's a well thought out product, and I like it. This is a canvas cover. It's got like a wax to it to keep it water resistant, not waterproof. But then you got this handle. And when I got my first Lochby field cover journal, I was thinking about cutting this off. I was like, I don't like this handle at all. It's too loose. It's very loose, and I'm not going to hold it like a purse, I guess would be the best way to say it. I'm not going to hold it like that. I'm going to carry it like this. And I didn't get it. And I was confused by why it was so loose. It should have been tighter. But then I put my hand in it and I opened up my cover, and it was perfect. It's loose like that so that you can get more of your hand inside of it. And then it becomes your palette that you can actually be standing up and taking notes or sketching something out on the go. Let's say you're on a bus, you're in a doctor's office, you're sitting in a chair, and you don't have a solid platform to write on. You've got this because the cover is pretty thick. I don't know what material's inside. I didn't go to the Lochby website and find out what material they put inside, but it's kind of thick, it's kind of pliable. I'm thinking it's probably some sort of plastic material, because if the water does get through, you don't want to ruin the cover itself, so it's probably some sort of plastic material. I'm assuming, I don't know. But it creates a palette in your hand, and that you can write, and you got your hand in the back supporting it, and you can take some notes, sketch something out. So if you're one of those wilderness walkers, and you like to walk in the wilderness, and you like to write and reflect about your life, you can do it while you're walking. So that's why it's so loose. It makes sense now after I got one in my hand. This is why I'm one of those people that likes to have things in my hand so I can try it and see if it works, which is unfortunate because I don't know any place locally that sells these, so you had to buy one to figure it out the hard way. So that's why it's loose. And then in the very back, you have a pocket in the back that you can put other materials in if you wanted to, whatever. And then here is the grommets for the nylon. So that's a tour of the outside. Now let's tour the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this in place because it's bouncing around, and it is annoying. I'm not gonna deny it, but that's why they created this. We're gonna start with the pen loop. It's just your standard elastic pen loop, and you can put it behind the latch just like that. It is big enough, like I'm gonna put my pinky finger in it, and it can hold like my pinky finger. So it's got some good size adjustment to it, and a lot of people that do journaling like to use those big girthy fountain pens, so it will accommodate those. You have pockets on the side that can fit an A5 size like little journal. And by the way, when you buy one of these, you'll get a Lochby dot grid A5 journal that is stitch bound, so that's always cool. You can fit one in like normal, like to cover it, or you can do the just put the back page in and you can have it out like that. You have one in the front and the back, and then you have these 3 pockets, like think business card holders for the first 2, but this back one is bigger, and it's something that you can put a pocket size notebook in, just like that. And then you also have this little mesh Velcro pocket. Negative thing, I wish the Velcro pocket went all the way across so that things were more secured inside of here. However, they decided to just put a little piece in like that. But you have a little mesh thing so you can see through it, or why it's mesh, I don't know. It does look cool and it is pretty good quality, so it's neat. But yes, it's a good place to put dice. So I have these little RPG dice in a bag, and I can pop these inside here, and there they are. They're in my everyday carry RPG kit, and I'm good to go. So that's the features that it has to offer for pockets and stuff. The material, it's got this honeycomb print to it. It feels like a nice, good quality nylon-ish material. You get these 2 bookmarks. I am going to say something that is not going to be popular with a lot of people. I don't like bookmarks in my books. Never have. Don't use them. They always get in the way. I cut them out of journals if I get a journal. And I'm going to yank them out of here because I don't like bookmarks. But that's a personal preference, and life is all about personal preferences. If you like them, good. I don't. Anyways, you got these 4 elastic bands, meaning you can put in 4 different pieces of material. So what we can do is we can put in our Lochby, and all you do is open it up to the center, find your center stitching. Now, one of them is going to have a knot in it because this is just one big piece of elastic, and it's going to have a knot in it. A little annoying, but you don't have to use all 4 of them. You can just use 3 of them, which is what I do. I'm also going to put in one of my burn journals. What is a burn journal? So when I'm watching a video or listening to a podcast or reviewing rule systems, I'll freeform write. It's very sloppy writing. Usually preoccupied with what I'm absorbing to be worried about my writing style. So I have these cheap journals that I pick up at Home Goods. I get a 3-pack of them for like $7. And I'll write in them. I like their size. I like the texture of the paper. They're made in Italy, so I feel special. And once I'm done, then I will sit down with my actual journals, and I'll take the information, I'll internalize it and write about it in my journals in a more organized fashion. And then when I'm done, I'll burn these. Like when I fill one of these up, I burn them. And the reason I burn them, it's symbolic to me saying I've taken the information out, I burn it, that information's gone. So I make sure I get what I want out of it. It's just a mic thing. You do you, that's how I do things. And then this last one, I'm going to put in a field journal character book for the D&D field notes system. So here I have 3 different sized journals inside my Lochby field journal. I'm not limited, like the traveler's notebooks, to a specific size. As long as it's the right height, you can put it in here. And then we close it. We're going to put our pen in here so that we can write. We're going to get our latch. Now you see how it's loose, all loosey-goosey. Now we're all tight. And now this is an everyday carry. I can just take this with me on the go. I have 3 different journals inside there for my writing desires. One can be for my personal life, one can be for gaming, one can be for work, whatever. One can be a scheduler. That's what this is all about. That's what a cover is all about. It's just something to hold your information. so that you have everything with you on the go for whatever you're doing, your everyday carry stuff. And that's how this works. That's why it's called an EDC. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create this to be an EDC for an RPG. And the one I've chosen to show off is Knave. I like Knave and Maze Rats. First, I'm a fan of Ben Milton's. I like his channel. I like what he provides to the community. And these two books are probably some of the best toolbox books I have in my collection. Just lots of charts, lots of information in a small, compact system. And what I want to show you is how you can put a thinner hardback book along with your journals inside the Lochby cover. We're going to start with just sliding Maze Rats into the side right here, because this is going to be kind of my go-to book for RPGing because it's got a lot of charts. Just that simple. We're going to put in I'm just going to use the Lochby journal that came with it, A5 size journal that came with it, because I just like it. It's actually really nice paper. And I'm not going to go down the paper rabbit hole with anybody. If you're into writing, paper means a lot. So we had 2 adventures. We're not going to play both at the same time. So we're just going to add in Summer's End, because that's going to be our adventure that we are going to go on using the Knave rules system. So we're going to slide that in right there. And I also want to just add in something a little bit different. So what I want to do is I want to take out one of my traveler size notebooks. Maybe this is just going to be for other stuff, just notes in general. Maybe I have some thoughts. Maybe I want to do some freeform journaling, whatever. We have some other stuff. All right, so now the bands are all taken up. We're going to unlatch our cover. We're going to put Knave, the hardback. It won't fit in the pocket. So we're just going to set that down. This might be something we're going to have to pick up. We can also use this as a writing surface. Not the limited edition copy, obviously, but maybe just we can just have a hard surface to write on. We close that all up. We need some dice, so we're going to put some dice in here. And I also want to keep a pocket notebook. Maybe I have my own charts, like Geek Gamer has her little wallet. Maybe I have my own little charts and things. So the pocket notebook is going to go above, or the mesh part. So I don't want to shove my dice all the way down. This is one of the reasons why I wish this thing went all the way across. So I'm going to push them up so this lays a little flatter. We're going to put our pen or pencil or whatever you choose to use as a writing utensil. So now look at that. Look, everything's kind of pushing out. The book's pushing out. Everything's just kind of all over the place. What we're going to do is we're just going to put that in and tighten this up. And now it's in tight because this is putting pressure on the covers. You can squish it down some more if you want to get it better tight so that this book doesn't fall out. Like, you can push it out, but it's not easily going to fall out. And if you want to, you can just kind of squish it up and there you go. This thing's going to hold. Like, it's not going to come apart that easily. You're going to really have to work on it. And if you want to carry it like this, you can, like this, throw it in a backpack, but you're good to go. And now you have an EDC RPG, or an RPG EDC, however you want to look at it, that you can just grab and go. And that's kind of what I wanted to share about this. This is what I like about this system, is I can just easily pick this up off my desk, open it up, and now I'm in the world of Knave, playing the Summer Ends adventure. I've got notebook paper with me. I've got my I created my own little pocket notebook that have some of my cool tables in, because I want to be the next Ben Milton and create a Maze Rats. So I'm keeping notes in my little pocket journal of my charts and my tables and my thoughts. I've got some dice with me. I've got a pen with me. I have a separate writing surface, but if I don't have that, if I don't need to use that, I can just use my hands and I can just open up and I can start writing. Yes, it's going to flop around. It's not perfect, but it is a feature of the notebook, and we have everything ready to go. And that's something I appreciate, when a product can provide me a solution to my hobby. It gives me an option of just grabbing everything in one toolbox. That's why I think we like those box games so much, that, the big, everything's in the box, because we can just pick the box up off the shelf and play our games. Consider this your box, but you create the contents inside. You use your favorite supplements. This would be perfect with the Morkaborg zine craze, with all the different zines and features. You can put solitary defilement in here and your adventures. And the Morkborg book's a little too thick for in here, but Morkborg has stripped down versions of the rules that are a lot thinner that you can put in. And let's be honest, there's not much rules to Morkborg. All you need to do is create a DR number, roll a dice, and use your stats. So it's not complicated. So you don't even really need the rules. But that is how the everyday carry Lochby field journal could be used for you. Now I want to talk a little bit about my pocket notebook cover from Lochby. How does this work in my RPG life? There is something about writing things down to commit them to memory. It's been proven that writing things down stick in your mind better than typing things in a phone or on a computer. It's just a thing. And earlier this year, I started carrying a pocket notebook because I am trying to disconnect myself from the electronic leash that is my iPhone. They're overpriced and they're just a constant distraction from life. Having a pocket notebook is something I'm using to change that. But how I use it for RPGs is a little bit different. In my day-to-day routines, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I go to a lot of game stores. I talk to a lot of different people, and ideas are always flowing. Something pops in my head. I could be having a conversation with someone, and something just pops in my head, like, oh my God, what they're talking about. There's like, I take a little nugget of that information. I'm like, I could do that with this, or this could be a good idea. And what I do is I open up my pocket notebook, I flip to a page, and I start writing. And I just write down the ideas in my pocket notebook. And then later, when I'm sitting and I have nothing going on, instead of doom scrolling on my cell phone, idea creating out of my pocket notebook. And I'm expanding a little bit on those ideas, or I'm taking those ideas and putting them into another journal page for later use, or for something that I'm currently working on. In listening to it, and this goes every place with me. It's about the same size as my cell phone, so this is the newer iPhone, not the newest, just one of the newer ones. And it's about the same size, so this fits easily in my back pocket. And when I'm listening to podcasts, watching YouTube, I'm watching YouTube in my living room. This is sitting on the table right next to me, and someone says something profound that I'm like, oh my God, and I'll write down like what the video is, like what channel, what the video title is, and I'll like a quick note about it. And then later, I might rewatch that video when I have like my regular notebook out, and I'll take detailed notes. Yes, when I watch your videos, I am taking notes, because you should, because we'll forget. We're so distracted in life, especially right now. Distractions are all over the place, and people are all enraged about one thing or the other. And it's hard to remember certain little details, and this helps me keep track of those little details. So the journal cover itself is pretty simple. It's got pockets. It's the same canvas material. It's got a big pocket on the back, two smaller pockets. This is supposed to be a pen pocket, but it's super tight. Like, you gotta shove a pen in there, and this is canvas. It needs to be looser, but I didn't design it. I don't use anything on the outside. I guess if I had some maybe receipts, or somebody gives me something, I might put it in there, but I don't use it. And then you just have two pockets on the inside for journal covers, and then you have three littler pockets here, maybe for business cards, something like that. I just use this for journaling, so I don't use any of those pockets. Just slip in the back cover, boom. There is no pen loop, but I use these zebra pens. I love the zebra pens and pencils. I just set that in there. And then you got this zipper. You just close it up. They put this little cool piece of rope on it to make grabbing the zipper easy. And you're good to go. And that's how the cover works. So that was a look at the Lochby Field Journal and Pocket Notebook covers and how I feel you can use these as your EDC RPG devices for gaming. Thank you for watching and have a great day.